Hey guys, it's Nathan again from TrueFire, and it's time for another episode of Licks We Love. Each week will feature a set of must-see licks video lessons across various genres and skill levels. The tab, notation, and jam tracks are all available for free at TrueFire via the links in the description. Ready to get started? This episode is all about jazz. Grab your guitar and let's dig in. Today's first lick is called La Pompe from Reinier Voet's 50 Gypsy jazz licks you must know.
Here is the first rhythm, La Pompe. La Pompe is the most recognizable way of comping in gypsy jazz. It is in fact just playing swing jazz rhythm, but in the unique style of Django and his fellow hot club musicians. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. A few things about playing La Pompe. Don't make the afterbeat too strong. It is true that there is a slight accent, but when you exaggerate it, it could influence your steadiness. Just practicing straight 4 could help you to become steady. This is what American rhythm players, like Freddie Green or Al Casey, used to do. Later on, you can add a slight accent on the afterbeat. Often just thinking of that is already enough to make it swing. 2. When you practice, use a metronome from time to time. This will help you to discover whether you have the tendency to slow down or to rush. Put the metronome beat on half time and on the afterbeat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's look at that little upstroke. It is not strictly necessary, but it sounds very nice and recognizable, so I recommend it. Important is to not try to emphasize the upstroke. An exaggerated slow upstroke drags the tempo down and sounds like 3 strokes instead of 2. This is the moment where you have to hit it. It's a kind of an upbeat just before the 1 and the 3 of the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, go 1, 2, go 3, 4, go 1, 2, go 3, 4, go 1. Go 1, 2, go 3, 4, go 1, 2, go 3, 4. Concerning the strength of the upstroke, the opinions differ. I prefer a short one, almost played by chance. Much like you are going up anyhow, so why not touch the strings on the way? But I know that, for example, Fabula Fertin prefers a larger one. That really sounds more like a pump, a bike pump. Now, about the length of the chord sound. To practice steadiness, I would say play every chord short. But watch out not to make that sound too dry. Of course, you will recognize this one. That is possible as well, but I would say it is more suited for ballads or medium tempo tunes. You can also use this to accompany a theme and change to this when the solo starts. First this one. Solos. Just for a slight change of comping sound. Well, have fun playing La Pompe.
Lick number 2 is called Counterclockwise from Tom Dempsey's 50 Soul Jazz Licks You Must Know.
Lick number 19, Counterclockwise. This is inspired by George Benson's performance on a tune called Clockwise on an album called Cookbook. Here we have the minor pentatonic scale being used really effectively along with the blues scale to really create a funky sound over this dominant chord. Take a listen. So this is a lick inspired by George Benson and specifically his performance on a tune called Clockwise, which is off a record called the Cookbook. This is a G7 idea that comes out of the blues scale and really has that funky, soulful sound that we all know and love as a part of George's playing. So we're just coming down the minor pentatonic, starting here on the tonic, G. I mean, you could call it the minor pentatonic, or you could call it coming out of the Mixolydian mode, because all of these notes are part of both of those scales. So I go 1, 5 to D to F natural, which is flat 7, resolving back to the tonic G. Then I go to the blue note, C sharp. Then I go to the C, which is the 4th, down to the B flat, flat 3, and then this typical blues idea with a 16th note triplet followed by an 8th note, C, D flat, C, B flat, with a little hammer-on pull-off action happening. Then down to the tonic G, to the flat 7 F, then in measure 3, back to the tonic G, then I go down to the 5th D, to the flat 7 F, up to the G, then I play this double stop with the B flat and the D, then 1 to flat 7 to 1 to resolve it right out. So it's G, F to G. So here is the entire lick played slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is cool because it's also coming out of that very guitar-friendly fingering of the minor pentatonic and the blues scale. So make sure you get it down in G, but then take it into some other keys and make it a part of your playing. And when you're ready, come join me in the next one.
Lick number 3 is called Benson Chromatic number 1 from Gil Parris's 50 Smooth Jazz Licks You Must Know.
Lick number 11 is Benson Chromatic number 1. This is George's bluesiest move, done in a chromatic way over major 7 chord, but it can also be used in a dominant situation as well. Enjoy. This is a great Benson blues move. It's a total cliche blues lick with chromaticism. I also heard John Tropez play on one of his albums, and check this out. Basically, we're in E major, There's your back pick on the triad. There's the triplet. Then we do another triplet. Now I ended with goosing the minor third to the major third, but you could end with if you're in a major situation, like a song like Breezin' or something, you might want to play that. But again, a great and classic smooth jazz move.
Today's fourth lick is called Sweet Licks from Jason Laughlin's 30 Country Jazz Licks You Must Know.
Lick number 9, Sweet Licks. This is a Leon Rhodes lick from his signature tune, Honey Fingers. And this lick, it's going to show off how Leon alters a 1 chord leading into a 4. And it's going to show off how he connects positions of the guitar. All right, so let's break down this classic Leon Rhodes lick. It's happening over a 1 to 4 to 1 to 4 progression. And for the first 1 to 4, he's kind of ignoring the fact that there's the 4 chord there and just playing in G. Setting up the second 4 chord is when he starts altering the G and creating that tension leading into the 4 chord. So he starts with a G major pentatonic, okay, and then up to a flat 3 here. So now we're getting kind of a little bluesy, down to the root, 6, 5th, 3rd. And then we're going to go to the flat 7. And that's just all diatonic. And then we're going to walk into the 3rd from a whole step below. So now we're going to start altering this 1 chord to set up the 4. And he uses a B diminished, that shape, but it's against the G, it's sounding as 3rd, 5th, flat 7, flat 9. There's your 3rd. So then we're going to go back to that flat 9 and we're going to slide into the 9, reach up for the 3rd, 5, 6, root. So nice little position change going on there. Then to the 6, sliding down to the 5th, and then we're going to set up the C. All right, so let's put that all together slow and you can see how it all works out. And Leon has such a great way of combining positions. You can tell he really knows his scales on every single string. He really knows his arpeggios, and he really uses those things as highways to connect positions. So start at the beginning of that again.
Our final lick today is called Bebop Sax Lick from Frank Vignola's 30 Smokin' Jazz Guitar Licks You Must Know.
Lick number 7 we call Bebop Sax Lick because it's reminiscent of a lot of the great saxophone players who would integrate bebop and the blues. They came from the blues and they learned about jazz and bebop. So naturally, the styles were combined. So this is a great saxophonistic riff. Check it out. Okay, 2 things we're going to discuss in the breakdown. First is the line. We're outlining the A minor 7th arpeggio. It's a 2-5-1 in the key of G. On the D7, we're doing a typical It's kind of a typical saxophone style line. And it's not really in the specific timing because we're laying back on the tempo. So it's hard to write out on manuscript. It's more of a feel where you're laying back on the line. And then we're into your typical blues pentatonic. And that's pure intuition in that line, okay? You just got to make sure you land on that G note, okay? Right, you're anticipating the G a little bit and then right to that pentatonic. All right? And in time. That's a really cool lick, and that will get people excited, that lick. That's why saxophone players for generations have been using it. So let's move on to the next one.
And that does it for this week's Licks We Love. I hope you enjoyed the free lessons, and be sure to subscribe and tune in next week for even more. Don't forget to click the links in the description to pick up the tab and notation. And if you haven't already, just a reminder that you can join TrueFire for free and get a 14-day free trial of all access. No credit card required and no strings attached. Come ignite your playing with TrueFire. Practice smart, play hard.